Welcome back to the halftime show on the PAC Sports Network, and the W&J Presidents today hosting the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets on the network. We're at the half now with Jina DeRubbo, W&J head coach. Coach, thanks for being with us today.
Absolutely. I always love coming on here.
And Coach, W&J enters the season as the reigning PAC champions. Take us back to last season and how meaningful it was for you and the team to come away as PAC champions.
Well, it'd been a long time. I feel like we were that team that had lost in the championship, 4 straight years. And so it was very bittersweet. Awesome that we did it. I still kind of felt bad for the kids the year before, just the way it played out with COVID and everything else. But such a great feeling. I mean, those kids are still talking about it today, to be honest with you. And that's their biggest thing. They want that feeling again of how great it was to win that conference championship, and such a great atmosphere that we had on our campus and both teams being here. It was a really special day.
And you bring back the vast majority of that championship team and are off to a great start this season as well, including impressive wins against Marietta and Carnegie Mellon, both in non-conference play, of course. What do wins like that do for the team, especially for a group that's still very young?
Well, we've talked a lot about how important those wins are. In years past, we had always done traditionally very well in the conference, but we couldn't, Marietta had beaten us 3 or 4 times in a row. And so we talked about at the beginning of this year how important our non-conference schedule was, and that we've got to get some of those wins outside the conference to kind of think beyond the conference and start at least having those conversations. I said to them early in the season, look, if you don't want to go play Transylvania in the first round, you got to do some things outside of your conference as well, and then do what you need to do to win the conference. Of course, it's certainly not a given by any stretch, but those non-conference games are really important for the big picture.
And W&J, one of the top defensive teams in the PAC, and it's no surprise the Presidents boast the reigning PAC Defensive Player of the Year as well in Senior V. Coack, a player who has a long wingspan, also the PAC high jump champion in 2021. How does her stature and talent level make her such a tough player to score on?
Listen, V is such an unsung hero. Like, she doesn't really get much glory. Like, she's so important to what we do and everything. She doesn't put up huge numbers in games. Once in a while she does. She has the ability to do that, but she does so many things well, and we don't underappreciate it. But I think, an outsider maybe looking at it might underappreciate what she does for us. But she is so long and athletic, and we talked about this last year. We're not a team that will lead the conference in forcing turnovers, and we don't press a lot. And so we just play a different style of defense, but you can't score on us very easily, even though we're not turning you over. And you can't score on V. Like, she's just so long, and she can guard a point guard to a 5, and she has lots of block shots and changes shots. And, so she's just very difficult to score on, and she can shoot it. She can really shoot it. She just doesn't do it very often.
And then from the defensive end, you look at some of those offensive standouts in junior center, Sarah Baradelli. She was the 2022 PAC most outstanding player, and a product from North Catholic, where she won 4 WPIAL titles as well. So she has a PAC championship to add to the trophy case now. But how does that championship pedigree for Sarah permeate throughout the rest of the team?
We've kind of built our offense around Sarah, even though she's not our leading scorer. She's a really athletic center, and she can do so many things. And we're, trying to get her to be a better passer, and because people double team her. And but she came in here a winner, and she knew what that takes to do that on a daily basis. She comes from she was the 6th man on her high school team because there were so many great players on that team that she came off the bench and helped them. So she's a kid that knows how to win. And she's a team player. She doesn't need to score 20 points a game for us to win. So I think Sarah's kind of coming into her own here and getting more and more confidence every year. But she's a really big part of our success, and we kind of build our offense and our defense truly around her.
And your sophomore class, phenomenal, headlined by Megan Dryberg, who earned 2nd team All-PAC honors as a freshman, averaging a double-double per game, leading the team in nearly every category so far this year. What kind of strides has Dryberg taken now in year 2 with the Presidents?
Well, that sophomore class is a powerful group. On the floor, off the floor, their personalities. The biggest way to describe that group as a whole, and we've talked about this as a coaching staff, is whether they're playing well or playing poorly or having a bad day or a great day, they compete. I mean, they just compete. Bryn in particular is just tough and competes, whether she's missed every shot or made every shot. You ride with her because of the way she competes. But Megan is such a well-rounded player. I said coming out of high school, the thing I was most impressed and people thought I was crazy when I said it is her passing. She has great vision and her ability to pass the ball. You don't see very often, especially from a forward type player. So she's just very balanced and she's hard to stop because she can post up. She's unbelievable on the board. She's working to develop her 3-point shot a little bit more consistently this year. And I think that's made her a better player because now you got to really come out and guard her because I think she's made some strides in her 3-point shooting. So, and her rebounding is impressive. Like she's just a strong kid. So sometimes our kids stand back and watch Megan play. And I'm like, hey guys, you can't just stand back here and watch her. Like she does miss shots. You got to go get a rebound. So I think sometimes our kids are like in awe of Megan, the things she does, but she's also a big team player and shares the ball, leads our team in assists, which is kind of crazy for a post player.
And Adeline Cherry and Bryn Bizak, two more sensational sophomores in your starting lineup. Cherry's the top 3-point shooter, as both she and Bizak excellent on the perimeter in taking the basketball away from the opponent as well. You know, how did those two players set the tone at the guard position?
Well, Addie is like a point guard dream. You know, she's more of a quiet leader than the other two. The other two are a little louder, I will say, but Addie really has the respect. She was named as a captain as a sophomore, which is kind of a rare thing for us. But you can tell Addie spent the summer in the gym, like no doubt about it. I know she spent the summer in the gym and her shoes. She's just very confident in her shot and her teammates are confident in her shot. But she's such a great leader and she knows every position on the floor and she really does run this team. And like I said, Bryn, just tough. She's just tough. So those three really complement each other and play really well together and they really depend on each other. And I'm like, oh my God, they're only sophomores, so we're excited about that.
And W&J adds some exciting newcomers as well to that. Kiana Dowling transferred to W&J for the spring semester last season out of Division II Palm Beach Atlantic. And freshman Stelani Lucian is a local product out of Class 6A Cannon McMillan, logging significant minutes off the bench. What kind of energy do they bring to the team?
Well, Kiki is really fast. I mean, she's just a great athlete. She handles the ball well. She really brings some depth for us, especially defensively. I mean, she just tortures people, I swear I've never seen her breathe hard. She never gets tired. So she could zigzag a kid down the floor for 40 minutes if we ask her to. So she really brings that intensity for us, which is great. And Stella, she's also really long and athletic and I think was, to be honest with you, a little under recruited and she was the steal of the century for me. She just does so many good things and she's incredibly athletic and she's going to be a really, really good player for us here over the next 4 years. She's still really learning the game. She's a little bit of like, I don't get what you mean. But she's coming along and she's very coachable. She'll do whatever you tell her. We kind of realized today she might actually be a really great post player. I'm like, oh my God, we got to get you on the block. We did a drone practice today. I'm like, well, this is a surprise. So she's going to have a really great career at W&J. She's going to be a lot of fun to watch over the next 4 years.
And obviously a lot of talent, but it is still a relatively young group. And what areas do you want to see W&J improve upon so that they can achieve another PAC championship this year?
Yeah, I think we need to be more consistent from the 3-point line. We have days where we really shoot it well. And Addie has been very consistent. So I think from our other guards, a little bit more consistency from the 3-point line would be a huge bump for us because we have days where we don't shoot it well at all other than Addie. And then other times where we're making, 8 or 9 threes. So a little bit more consistency there from the 3-point line kind of makes it really hard to beat us.
And as a coach, you're approaching 500 career wins, which should very well come this season if things go according to plan. And you also have a daughter, Riley, starting guard at American University, 2 sons, Dante and Dominic, who play basketball in the Trinity School District. So, how are things going in the DeRubbo basketball family these days?
Well, you should see the calendar I have. I have a calendar of each month with Riley's games written in red, mine are in blue, Dante's are in black. It's a nightmare. Dominic actually doesn't play basketball. He's a lacrosse player. So at least his is in the spring. It's a little bit easier, but it's a challenge. I'll be honest, it's a challenge. Like trying to see as many of Riley's games. At least she's on ESPN. I get to see that, but it's crazy. Thank God I have really great kids on this team and a great coaching staff that help. And yeah, my life's a little crazy, but it's all good. It's fun. I don't think I'd have it any other way.
Exactly. I was just going to say that you wouldn't have it any other way. And so, well, it's our pleasure to be here to watch W&J today and taking on the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets. And Coach DeRubbo, thanks so much for your time and good luck.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
We'll have the second half of today's game when we come back in just a moment.